Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. Today is a very unique, special message. And the reason I am sharing this timeless reading with you is because there is something that is undeniable that is happening in the ethers. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle as I'm speaking, but also I won't be pulling out tarot just yet because I need to go through these specific oracle messages. So again, this is only going to be for a certain amount of people. There will be a lot of people who will be clicking off this reading. But what I find fascinating is Spirit has given me the ability to tap into those who are genuinely interested in expanding their vision, their alignment with source energy, and this is going to be the biggest game changer ever. So just to break it down, the whole point of the title, it's a bit of an older title because Spirit had wanted me to share something specific regarding you being this warrior of change. You were probably taking things in your stride. Just as I split the deck, we've got the Empress and the Hierophant. So what I'm seeing here is what most people would consider challenging, you are taking in your stride. What most people consider difficult, you are going, how? Because this has actually worked out very well for me. And you're doing things that are feeling in alignment with where you're at. Now, just as an example, I'm going to be moving house. So there's been quite a lot of irregularity with my readings. Some of you are probably like, wait, this is a weird time for her to post. She hasn't done member readings. And it's going to keep happening for the next week or so, probably 2, 3 weeks. Just then, Spirit just literally just dropped a piece of paper. Let's see what the paper says, actually. Because I'm doing a lot of clearing out of this life, this past version of me, and I will be moving. And what I've realized is this is the necessary step for me to take in my own journey. And as I'm doing this, I'm understanding my perspective, my attitude is completely different than when I had dealt with it previously. But what I've also understood that um, some of you may be experiencing some throat chakra blockages, some coughing, some dry throat. You're probably needing a lot more water at this time. Okay, I'm going to leave the messages right there because we've got the Fool and the Ten of Cups. What I'm seeing behind the Fool, yeah, no. So we've got the Fool and the Ten of Cups. Basically, what I'm seeing is a lot of you who are reading this, yeah, you may have some throat chakra blocks. We've got the Magician and the Empress here as well. But you're taking this opportunity to move forward in your life, and you're not really waiting for the masculine to kind of be ready. And the reason that this has come up is you are going to be moving forward in your own wish fulfillment, regardless of your masculine, right? You're taking steps forward to rise from difficult challenges because you're actually bringing in these tower moments yourself, right? You're maybe dealing with some grief. You're having the ability to see things in a different perspective than you previously did. And then you're seeing that this is the blessing, this is the shift that actually unlocks more and more ways to expand. Just to be clear, whether you believe in God, spirit, source, energy, whatever, God doesn't give you challenges you cannot handle. They are only going to be relevant for you, or they're going to be on repeat. So I saw a specific card earlier this morning. Some of you might be feeling a little bit disorientated. You might be waking up early hours in the morning, or you may be mirroring your counterpart. But what I'm seeing is there is the shadow card. And the relevance of this is we are dealing with shadows, but we're actually willingly dealing with our shadows. So I had been given a specific message to address what lies I have been carrying around, what I've been telling myself. It's all well and good to show up and clean your environment like I'm doing. I'm getting rid of a few things, but I've also maintained a clean environment anyway. I'm not a hoarder, but we forget that we hoard things in our brain. We forget that the spiritual community is constantly giving us information regarding our person, regarding light workers, star seeds. Oh my goodness, there's just so much to learn, but we're hoarding that. So, what I did this morning, it's all well and good to clean up your physical space, but we forget to clean up our headspace. How do we cleanse and get rid of these parts of us that we've been lying to ourselves? It's not about thinking positively, it's addressing the darkness that is laying within you. So, what I did is I started listing, and this is going to be super, super uncomfortable for people. Take it as it resonates. This is probably going to be in one of my future books, but I'm going to share it with you right here, right now, if you want to do this. It took me 6 pages. I wrote down all of the lies that I have heard or told myself and that are stored in my memory bank. So when I looked at the lies, I reread it. I took some time to breathe. I took some time to meditate, and then more lies came up. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's new. All right, I need to write that one down. So I wrote myself the lies, took it out of my head, put it on paper in pencil, and I told myself the lies about money, about relationships, about my health, around my body, around myself. So it was the awakening I invited, and it was one of the catalyst methods, the steps that were shown to me to reveal the ways I can sink into my specific tower and make it a revelation. This was the game changer that occurred to me. Not only as us divine feminines, as a collective, we're unlocking the next stage of the game we are in. We're unlocking the levels at a super high rate. We're unlocking new powers. But those powers on the console is not yet familiar. Now, if you're a gamer, you're going to know, you're going to get this. But for those of you who don't game, it's not that hard, right? We're thinking we're in control, but the matrix is very much alive and thriving. The impression that we've got from all of the tarot readers, which is why I'm withdrawing my own energy from that space, it's given people the false impression that they are not divine. You might have heard readers to say, you're not divine, you're not twin flames. Your person and you aren't supposed to be together. So you look for more readers and more readings to tell you what you need to know at that time, what you're feeling, what you're vibrating. A lot of people are asking those questions, am I a twin flame? I've never heard about twin flames. Is this my counterpart? Are we supposed to be together? All these questions and all these readings lead to so much confusion. And then what happens? You pay for a reading, you pay for an energetic clearing. Now, let me be clear, if this is not about everyone. This is what Spirit's asking me to channel during this message. This is not about people who are doing stuff because they come from an authentic place. This is about people wanting to take your money for their spiritual business. But what I'm saying is only you can use your discernment, because this is a spiritual game you are in. That holds a lot of false people. So a client mentioned to me that they're taking a course in reading, and they're going to get trained to be a reader. And I'm like, why are we asking others to unlock our own creativity, our own divine intelligence? And Spirit was blocking my throat chakra up here, because a lot of you are being blocked by other readers and people and spiritual gurus, essentially, because you're not able to speak by your creative divine intelligence. And the bigger question is why are you asking somebody outside of you telling you who you are or who you are meant to be? Now, I'm not knocking education, I'm not knocking courses, but this is what Spirit is asking me to share. I do not do this full time. I actually don't get that much money for monetizing YouTube. It takes a lot of work to monetize YouTube. Somebody said to me, I didn't know you needed to get 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers as a minimum before you start earning money. And my readings probably only make me £1 or £2, British pounds. That's not much. So why am I here? Why am I on Instagram? Why do I do these things? I rarely do readings anymore because the exception is I want to help raise the vibration of the community. I've been asked to channel some of these messages that I sometimes didn't even believe myself that were true. Some of the readings that were coming through, some of the channeled messages that were coming through, I couldn't believe it in myself. And that's why you hear me so surprised in some of the readings. But the reason I do so many divine feminine readings when most of the collective want divine masculine readings, because they'll click off unless they get a specific reading telling them, when is my person going to communicate? When are we going to come into union? Yada, yada, yada. They don't want to know that they need to do the healing, that they need to target the shadow side, that they are under a false narrative. But I'm here to tell you that you are the one living in the shadow this whole time because you thought you were living in the light. You thought, now here's the real kicker, you thought you were the light the masculine is following, when in reality, in the 3D, your masculine followed your light. They are in the light, but you got stuck in the false narrative that you are living in your dream in the light. Now you're probably realizing that you're in this Truman Show. Now, if nobody's seen that movie, I'm so sorry. That was a massive spoiler. But you've been lying. You've been lied to. You've been lying to yourself. Why is all of this important? Because you didn't realize you were the light this whole time. You didn't realize that you were the one who was living in the shadow. You thought your masculine was in the shadow. You thought that you needed to bring them into the light. But it was weird. They stopped. They stopped in the light. You were following the false light. And that's the type of light that we get in this false narrative. You know, I watch F1 and you know, it's the light when I watch an F1 night race. The streets have lit up so brightly. It looks like daytime. And that's when you thought you were living in the day. You thought that this night was the day. When really it was the night the whole time. And you are going to be given this huge tower moment, the Truman Show moment, where you see the NPCs you made up in order for you to stay where you are because you thought this was a place of heaven you created. No, that was the karmic narrative you made up. You sabotaged this whole time because your masculine has followed you and stopped in the light, and you haven't realized how to confirm your own light. That you've been in the shadow thinking you're in this fake light. You keep following others, asking them where your path is, but you are the light. So let's have a look. We've got the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and also we've got the Seven of Pentacles of what we don't know. What don't we know about this? Well, this message will not reach everyone. I'm not even going to ask you to click like. I'm not even going to ask you to comment. You do what you feel. Use your discernment and follow that action. Because I don't even care if that many people don't see this reading. The only way YouTube is going to suggest this to you and you're going to click on it is because you've used your discernment, because it's coming on your suggested pages. you don't watch all of my readings. And if you're brand new, this might be the biggest kicker reading that you've ever listened to. Only some of you are going to stay for this time. But what I am seeing is you are really being humbled to take a reality check of where you actually are and where you thought you were on this healing journey. Some of you thought, wait a second, I thought we'd be in union by now. I thought I've done the healing and I've been here and I've done the work. Why isn't my union here? Because you created this fake world. It's like you were in Disneyland and you thought that the Disneyland was the entire world. That's how the world works. There is no litter on the floor. Everything is being taken care of. You spend $20 on a churro. You go on rides and you think that that is exactly how the world works, but it doesn't. And then you realize you've been lying to yourself this whole time. So by you listening to this reading, there is this big sense of awakening because you are inviting these tower moments. You're inviting yourself to look at those false narratives. What do you need to know about this situation? The Four of Pentacles. Oh my word. That is something you've kept holding on to. You've kept holding on to your shadow. You kept holding on to your lies and your false beliefs and your narratives and your doubts and your fears. And you've constructed this elaborate world where everything is in harmony and synchronization. And you're kind of like validating your false narratives. And that's what the shadow does. It makes you believe that you've created your heaven. It makes you believe that you were in heaven this whole time. That was the biggest kicker. This shadow has done its work. It's been so incredibly clever in thinking, but I've done the healing, I've done the work, I've done these things. Where's my counterpart? I'm a good person. I'm following my starseed light worker purpose. Where's my person? But no, honey, dear sweet soul, oh my goodness, you've missed the path. You've been following your own narrative to confirm that this is your person when you've forgotten the whole path was about you the whole time. Your shadow self, your ego has been so successful. And you've been thinking you've been such a great spiritual manifester and reader and light worker. And honey, you've not even touched the edge yet. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Because if you see disgust, or if you start to go, oh, I don't look good. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, like, ugh, what are those lines? Ugh, what are those hairs? Oh my gosh, why are you lying to yourself? Why are you lying to yourself about how incredible you actually are? How do you not see this? What is the biggest challenge for you at this time? The Six of Wands. We make a huge mistake on this journey thinking that it's the divine masculine who are living in the false narrative, who have been led by karmics, who don't know their light. And the biggest challenge for you is you are the one who didn't know that you were in the dark, that you were scared of this victory, that you were scared of this commitment, that you were scared of that happy ever after. You thought happy ever after looked a certain way, but now you're understanding that, but it's too perfect, it's too clean, it's too amazing. This can't be real. You're now understanding that the devil has been constructing these false narratives, but you're the devil, you're the shadow. Nobody can hold this accountable apart from you. And some of you are not going to like that message. You're not going to come to this level of understanding where you might even have obviously clicked off this video by now, but some of you who have stayed, you're actually going, wait a second. It's not only been about me this whole time, but I've been leading myself in this false path and I've been making up things in my own head. And that's going to be quite a gut-wrenching thought. But you know, the positive thing about this is you're actually lowering your own mask. You're actually acknowledging where you are and you're assessing the situation in a whole different light. So, what is the divine masculines going through at this time? Wow, the Nine of Pentacles. So, while you're under this false pretense of this game, of, the Matrix, whatever you want to call it, your divine masculine is gaining their wishes fulfilled. They're getting successful in the 3D. They're actually not as bad as you thought they are. We try and say, oh, look, the divine masculine's going through a tough time. Oh, they're like really going through a tower moment, and we try and make ourselves feel better about that. No, 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 no. Yeah, they may be going through a death and rebirth, but they're doing better than you think. Especially if you haven't communicated with your masculine just yet. You want to believe that if I'm going through a tough time, they're probably going through a tough time. But remember, you can do the opposite. They may be going through a tough time, but they're probably handling it like a boss, just how you have been handling certain things in your life. What does the divine masculine need for us to know? The Nine of Cups. They have got the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Oh my God, they're closer to victory than we thought they are. They are closer to victory. Very much in this sublime energy of wishes fulfillment, getting everything that they want, manifesting like a boss. This is like winning every level of the game, coming into their highest levels of victory, basically. The divine feminines, we've got the Ten of Wands here, and we've got this Chariot card just behind. We've got the Two of Cups, right? It's just saying that everything can work out for you as long as you acknowledge what you've put yourself through and what false narratives you're currently under. What lies are you telling yourself? So, what is the next step for the divine feminines? The next steps in the next few hours, minutes, days, when it comes to the union with self. Let's take out the union with the twin flame. Let's talk about union with self, because we know when we get into that aligned union with self, that is where your masculine is anyway. We've got the King of Swords. It's time to be honest with yourself. It's trying to take a reality check and assess the situation of where you are, push through all of your insecurities, and really keep your heart open. Clear your mind of that clutter that we talked about. I'm going to read actually, what does this King of Swords entail? So let's just have a look at the shadow side of the King of Swords and see what messages Spirit wants to share. Wow, Shadow Seer is the manipulation and conceit, showing off your intelligence, indicating this rigidness in thinking, tending to be over controlling, irrational, cold, and calculating. Your shadow self is thriving right now, and you had no idea. You are the one that can change the narrative and make wise, intelligent, rational, logical decisions. You can have a clearer mind. You can seek the truth, because when you write down all those lies, and later on today, I'm going to write down the truth. So when you write down the lies and you've absorbed what those lies can be and have been, write down the truth in pen. Because when your brain looks at the two comparisons, right now, your brain is so conditioned to look at the lies and repeat the lies, you forget what the truth has been. You forget to take off your lens and take off your glasses to actually truly see that, wait a second, this isn't the light. This is the artificial light that they put into buildings thinking that we are in daytime, so they keep us working longer. You are intelligent, you are diplomatic. This king, this is you, feminines. You're leading with facts, rationale, and scientific principles. Don't let the spiritual world knock you. It's all well and good to be in the spiritual side of things, but you're not going to force masculines to get into the spiritual side because they are going to be remaining in the 3D. That is where they're living. That is where they are. They're in the light. They're in the 3D. You, however, are living the 3D and the 5D, and you're in the shadow side. So you need to start coming back into this world, back into this reality. Stop speaking to people as if they're just spiritual beings. You need to live in this world. So if people who aren't spirituals tends to speak to you and they're like, I don't understand what you're saying, like this doesn't make sense. This is just allowing you to say that you can't live in the spiritual world this whole time. You need to be living in this reality. That's where your divine masculine lives. So even though you're always seeking data and proof, you're probably asking for signs upon signs. And when you don't get signs, you keep asking for more signs. What this is saying is have this blended experience. You are innovative, you are intelligent, you are emotional, you are spiritual. This harmony, this balance is what you need to get to for this well-rounded success. I'm so glad that I'm reading this too, because it's saying that you need to be more courageous in pursuing your purpose, your path, finding your own confidence and being authentic in who you are, rather than just feeling your way, rather than just being aloof or flighty or in this spiritual realm. Because in the shadow, it's saying that you're using knowledge to take advantage of others. And sometimes we are seeing this in tarot. They are using this spiritual realm to take advantage of you. But we need to have these messages extended out to the collective because this is the truthful communication with ourselves. We need to be authentic with ourselves. We need to help others in a way that is so honest rather than manipulative. We need to discern what is honest and what is manipulative. We need to find wisdom with our experience, and we need to help support others who are struggling right now. So that's where you're going to find your success, feminines. That is what's happening in the next few days and hours. So what are the next steps for the divine masculines? What do we need to know? If there are any masculines who are listening to this message, wow. Oh my gosh. Two of Pentacles is usually, it's usually the divine masculines. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting loads of downloads, but the Two of Pentacles is usually the divine masculines going through spiritual awakening, learning their lessons. But this came out in the inverse. They know their decision, they know their path, they know their alignment. They are further along than we think they are. They are so further along in this energy because they don't even need to decide anymore. They've already decided. They've already decided where they're going. Holy shit, they're just waiting for you to catch up. Holy shit, the Ace of Swords, the High Priestess. This is insane. This is the truth is that you've been thinking you're the High Priestess. You're this all-seeing, all-knowing, all light, all spiritual. You're doing the healing and you're doing these things and you're watching the tarot readings and you're going in your soul path, and oh my gosh, you need to be humble. Because the truth is, you've been lying to yourself this whole time. The high priestess is so flighty in their own spiritual path, thinking they're illuminated and doing all these amazing things, but really, you've been stuck. You've been stuck in the spiritual plane, but you're not living your life in the 3D. Oh my gosh, we've got the Temperance card. This is about balance. You need to find this balance. What did I say earlier when I was reading out the King of Swords? It is that balance between the light and dark, the masculine, feminines, the yin, the yang. You were in your yang energy. You were in this shadow self energy, and your divine masculine is in the light. But it's only because you've shown them how to get there. Now you need to get back on that path. And how you're going to do it's going to be different for everyone. But you need to have this vision in front of you to understand where is it you're going to go and rebuild that foundation for you, for the collective, for your connection. That was a big, big reading. Man, if you guys are still here, I'm so, so grateful for you. Honestly, I didn't expect that channeled message to come through. I'm so grateful that I get to do this. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Bye for now.